Despite QNT being one of the better known utility projects in this space, many still don't understand what it does. When QNT is brought up in conversation with Swift or real world assets, the amount of misinformation is insane. So, this video is not another explainer, it's the only QNT video you will ever need. So, with that said, let's get straight into the video. Okay, so a quick reminder for every video that we make on the channel, this is not financial advice and for entertainment purposes only. Nothing in crypto is guaranteed and you could lose all of your money. Stay safe and do your own research. Now, just before we go into QNT and what the project is about, there is a clear divide in the market. There are utility cryptocurrencies and the rest of the market. If we go back to the beginning of the channel in 2022, there are around 20,000 cryptocurrencies in all existence that you could invest in. Fast forward to 2025, there are more created in a single day. Most of these tokens are speculative, they are scams built with the design of max extraction. Everything gone. This is why we invest into utility cryptocurrencies that solve real world problems that enterprises, banks, and governments actually care for. And this is why we invest in QNT. It sets a token apart from lasting a couple weeks to multiple cycles. QNT is a perfect example of a utility cryptocurrency, and we're going to go into the problem that this project actually solves in three layers, three levels of understanding. The first level is QNT is like the operating system of blockchains. Now, this is quite an old graphic, but it's the best visual representation of what Quant Network actually do. But the overledger itself does not compete or replace blockchains. It sits on top, allows apps to interact with multiple chains at once. Simply put. Right, the next point we can see, blockchains are currently siloed. They don't naturally communicate. The key thing with Quant is they do not do this by using bridges or wrap tokens. They use it via APIs and gateways. And the final layer of understanding is that enterprises and governments need one secure integration point with compatibility and interoperability, and Quant Network provide this, enabling settlement, cross-chain operations, and tokenization. So when you understand the problem that Quant Network actually solve and where they fit in the bigger picture, it all makes sense because you have settlement assets like XRP, you have smart contract platforms like Ethereum, tokenization platforms like R3 Corda, and so on. Quant Network is not competing, rather the connective tissue, that being the overledger. That brings us on to more of the bigger picture, what's being enabled today with Fusion and Flow. So Overledger Fusion makes money programmable and interoperable, whereas Quant Flow automates payments across old and new rails. So the Fusion demo will be showcased at Cybos 2025, right, the world's premier financial event hosted and organized by Swift, with the world's financial leaders and decision makers attending, bearing witness to this financial revolution. And Fusion itself is making money interoperable and telling it where to go. And it's truly different because it's not just available to enterprise, available to all non-enterprise users. And we already know that Overledger Fusion is the world's first Layer 2.5 network for institutions and DeFi. Right? Once assets are operating on Layer 2.5, they can be natively traded, swapped, and settled either within the network itself or with external Layer 1 chains and their assets such as USDC for liquidity. So Fusion users can now access all chains, all assets with one signed transaction. Right? Prior to this, most of Quant's products are aimed at corporate banks and enterprise. We now have access for retail. Right? They prior have not had access to prior programmable payments or cross-chain layer 2.5 workflows. And that brings me on to Quant Flow, which essentially tells money what to do, making it programmable, inventing programmability of bank deposits without tokenization, and being the world's first product offering programmable payments to all forms of money, including legacy fiat rails. And think about the amount of value that is going to be unlocked here. Right, so let me run you through a quick scenario here. So think about a company sending a programmable payment anywhere in the world. Once it's approved, it automatically handles currency swaps, moves across blockchains, and settles right away with no banks, no middlemen, and no waiting around. Meanwhile, the accounting updates itself, invoices get cleared, and everything reconciles automatically. A fully automated system that was not available a few years ago, now available with Fusion and Flow. And finally, we have PayScript, no code rules for programmable money. So, fintechs and enterprise do not need blockchain expertise and authorize enterprise grade security and key management. So, we can see secure signing and a governance of transactions. And all is powered by QNT. A big part of the bigger picture, too, is not just the fact that they're building tools, that partnerships, working with enterprise banks and governments actually bring it to life. A few examples that speak out to me is obviously Project Rosalind and the UK's regulated liability network, right? Essentially having the UK's financial sector in the back pocket of Core Network. And in this pilot, Quant provided the interoperability layer to connect commercial bank money, central bank money, and tokenized assets in one shared network. In this sandbox, Quant provided technology to connect APIs to different payment networks and DLTs. And more recently, in the digital euro, venturing off into Europe, a pioneer partner in the European Central Bank's digital euro project, providing the interoperability and programmability tech. We've seen this stated before by Gilbert Verdian, the CEO and founder of Quant Network, that they have pounds crossed off, euros crossed off, and dollars are next. And on top of that, the European Central Bank officially states digital euro has greater momentum after a major breakthrough. Quant Network is probably involved. So now you understand utility cryptos are a different breed, a different category to the rest of cryptocurrencies in the market. You understand on some degree what problem QNT actually solves and where QNT lies in the bigger picture outside of cryptocurrency. So, what is the current landscape, the current situation with QNT? Because it's not a unique one, but we see many utility projects in the same phase where partnerships, integrations are increasing, but no actual increase on the price itself. XRP is the perfect example. And you can see it's represented a lot in the media where a lot of people comment on the price, not the developments taking place, the build up that is taking place. By XRP in 2024, before the price increase, before being one of the best performing cryptocurrencies of this cycle, it has been a failed project or a cryptocurrency to not invest in. While whales were actively accumulating during that period, just like with QNT, we are seeing exchange reserves being lowered and lowered every single day. Because when I invest into a certain project, I'm looking for a large gap between how valuable the market thinks that said crypto is and how valuable it actually is. But XRP is a perfect example. Throughout the bear market, you had the case looming over, legal uncertainty, the underperformance of the prior cycle, right? No all-time high broken. And people were generally scared about investing in XRP as a token. I see an opportunity. And it took a very long time and it tested everyone and most people, including myself, towards 2024, I stopped accumulating because I got that so exhausted with buying that cryptocurrency, but I just held what I had and it paid off, thankfully. The same with QNT. We have seen underperformance, but endless partnerships, integrations with the Bank for International Settlements, Bank of England, European Central Bank, and more. From a risk reward ratio, for me, it makes sense. Where it takes tomorrow, next week, a month, a year, I will wait patiently. But that's going to be pretty much it for today's video. We're seeing utility up here, recognition, and price down here. That's the way I've approached the market, and that's what I believe in. So that is QNT. So if there's anyone in the market that spreads misinformation, is unsure about QNT or what QNT is actually about as a project, send them this way towards this video, and they will know the truth. But if you made it this far in the video, thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.